Hello YouTubers. Today we're going to take a look at building a fish trap. This is the materials I'm going to use. We will use two plastic buckets, a piece of rabbit or chicken wire that's 3 feet by 4 feet, and I got two pieces of angle iron that are 5 feet long, a chain that's 5 feet long, and various nuts and bolts. I also have zip ties and a rope. Now, I'm going to make two throats for the fish to go in on each end. One reason is it's easier to do it that way, and second is you have twice as much opportunity to catch fish. They can catch them up or down. If you're in a stream and you bait the trap, most of the fish are going to come in the low end. But if you're in a pond or a lake where the water's not moving, they will smell the bait if you're putting bait in there and come in from either side. So you're doubling your capacity with just only a little extra work to build the trap itself. You'll need a few tools to do this. This is a 1/4 inch drill bit. That's a 1/4 inch there where the hole is. And that matches my 1/4 inch nuts and bolts here. It's going to hold it together. You can use tools like tin snips and wire snips, but if you have a metopo blade on a side grinder, you can do all this cutting so fast and so easy that you won't even need those tools. The only tools really you might need are a tape measure and a pair of pliers to help you cinch down the zip ties, and a framing square. Before I go farther, I want to encourage everybody to, if you're going to use any tools like the side grinder, to have safety goggles, gloves, and ear protection. Over half the videos I see on YouTube, people are working and not protecting their hands and eyes and ears. And if you see those, write them and tell them to please protect themselves. I also want to mention that these videos are sponsored by my roofing hoist that I built. This is a platform that I built to go up and down the ladders. You can attach a motor at the bottom using these bars that I just have clamped on here for shipping purposes, but one bar goes on the bottom to hold the motor, the other bar goes on the top, and the hook for the motor goes through here, and it pulls the entire platform up and down the ladder. I've built and sold, I sold over 300. I built about 350 since Hurricane Katrina. So if you get a chance, there's probably 6 or 8 videos that show how to use these and how to order them and save yourself a lot of work. It takes over about 25 holes that have to be precision drilled to make these, but they're very good and they'll lift a lot of weight. So I'm going to give this to my assistant and show you how to mark the buckets to cut. First thing, your splines in there need to be at an angle, a triangle, and they need to be less than 4 inches apart. So these buckets, if you have some of these buckets like this, they have these little supports in here, and they're 1 inches apart. So it's very easy just to make a mark and count 1, 2, 3, 4, and make another mark. Then you make a mark in the center. So you can just go around the bucket, 1, 2, 3, 4, make a mark, and then there's a middle one. Make a mark there, and so forth, all the way around the bucket. Once you get those marks, you can use a framing square to see where the bottom mark would be. So you just put the framing square against the bucket, and then you mark it here. Well, that marker's about shot. Let me get another one. Mark it here. No, I'm sorry, that was the wrong way. Mark it here, and mark it halfway between. The framing square just helps you get the center between these 2 points to this one. Then you can just take a piece of, like a ruler or something, and make your pizza slices. I'll call them. And you would do that all the way around your bucket. I'll just do a couple. Okay. These parts will be cut out right here that go big to the bottom, so I put an X in those. But these here in the center will be left. So the next step is, after you've gone all the way around the bucket, is to mark where you want to put your holes. You'll zip tie them together. I have a little piece of board here that's 6 inches high. You may want to go a little higher than that, but I found about 6 inches is enough. So all you have to do is put it there and turn your bucket with a good magic marker. So that gives you a line to go by to drill your holes in here where you will zip tie these slices together to make your funnel for the throat of the net. So you drill here and here. Do all your marking, all your drilling before you cut anything, because once you cut these out, these will be flapping up and down and hard to drill. Also, you're going to attach your wire right through here. So you'll need a hole at the top of every piece of slice. Just miss these little supports here. Drill a hole like that. Then you can take the top of the blade with your personal protection equipment and just zip these out. Really fast, really easy. Cut all your lines. And then you will have the bucket ready to put the zip ties through these holes and to make your funnel. Here's what you'll wind up with. Just stay over here. Here's a couple that I've already made. Now there's some little holes in here like this to let the minnows out. Some states have regulations about how big the holes have to be to let the small fish out. You can adjust that by how tight you put the zip ties in. But once you get this, then the fish can go in like this. Let me see something. And you can see a fish can swim in like that and be inside the trap. So these, we replace the buckets here. To let the fish in on both ends. These will be used to strengthen it and to attach a rope, the chain and the rope, so that you can pull everything out of the water. Also, this metal will weight down these buckets. Now, many people just build them bucket to bucket like this, but plastic floats and also fish are much more willing to come in if they can see the light on the other side of the tunnel, so to speak, rather than being up in here. So this is the easiest and quickest way to do it. Okay, one more thing I want to show you. Once you have cut out one, see, once you make these cuts, you wind up with a piece like that that just falls out. You can use it on your next bucket, or you can make a bunch more. Really easy, simply by setting your next bucket into there and wrapping a bungee cord around it. Hold them together. Then all you got to do is zip, 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 mark them out like that to make your next bucket or make more and more traps really quickly and easily. So what I'll do next is pull the wire up to these little holes right here and run the zip ties through here and through the wire all the way around, and then I'll put these on. I'll wait till I get it together to mark these, because I will be putting bolts in through here. 2" by 1/4" carriage bolts. So I put a carriage bolt in through here. But after I put it through here, because there's space in here and I don't want to crack the bucket and put too much pressure on it, that bolt will go through a hole that I'll drill in here, and then I'll put a couple nuts on it. And 2 nuts will space it right here, so you're not pulling the piece of metal all the way into the bucket. And of course on the inside I'll put a washer and another nut in here to hold these on. That will give it stability. Also, as opposed to putting a bunch of buckets together, you have a lot more space in your net for more fish to be caught. Later I'll have to put a door in. When I put a door in, I'll just cut out a piece, use zip ties to put it back in for the hinge side. Just use a little piece of wire like that to hold the door. Also, the advantage of having all this rope, if you want to go deep in the water, or if you're in a creek or something, you could put the rope up over a tree limb that's hanging on the creek and pull it up. It would be heavy. Also, a lot of mud will get in these traps. Even though they're screened and all that, they can get stuck in the mud. Initially, trying to pull them out will be more difficult. I guess that's the end of it. We'll put it together and probably take a can of sardines and punch a few holes in it with a hammer and a nail, and they will smell that and come in there. We don't really care about bait once they come in there. If they don't have nothing to eat, they're still caught. If your state laws require you to have a bigger hole to let small fish out, you could cut one out, a few holes out in your screen here. And possibly these would catch otters or beavers or other small animals. So if you're living off grid, this may be a good way to supplement your food source. Well, thank you. Have a good day.